To create a scatter plot in SPSS, I first open up your dataset, chapter 5, number 1, same one we used for a correlation example. And we want to create a scatter plot to depict our data. And the first thing you need to realize when you do a scatter plot is that variables matter. You need to determine which variable is your independent variable and which variable is your dependent variable. Another way to word that would be your explanatory and response variable. Your independent variable is the variable that doesn't change necessarily. The other variable will depend on that variable. In this situation, education is our independent variable because our income level at our job may depend on our education. Does that necessarily mean there's a correlation? No, but that's what we are looking at. We want to determine if income depends on education. Therefore, education is our independent variable, income is our dependent variable. Our independent variable, which can also be called your explanatory variable because it can explain your other variable, that variable will always be on your x-axis. Your income, which is your dependent or response variable, will always be on your y-axis. So to do this, you're going to go to Graphs, Chart Builder, and in that you want to choose the Scatter Dot option and choose the very first one and drag it and drop it into your gallery box. And as we mentioned, our independent variable is our level of education. We want to determine if our income depends on our education. So our income will get drugged to our y-axis. So we've got education down here, income on the y-axis, and you can just click OK once you get your chart to look like that. And you may need to scroll down a little bit to find your graph, but there is your graph. Notice our dots are not perfectly clustered around a line. Correlation shows the strength of our relationship. And what we're looking at when we use this Pearson correlation is to determine how closely those points are clustered around a straight line. We could probably attempt to draw a straight line in this data, but obviously our points are not completely clustered around one exact straight line. That's where we get that correlation of 0.5, was it 0.54, 0.574, excuse me. It's not extremely high, but there is definitely an obvious relationship there. The points are somewhat clustered, and they definitely are a positive relationship. If you notice our line, if we were to try to draw a line in there, increases from left to right, or our dots go up from left to right. Therefore, we have a moderately positive relationship. So the scatter plot should represent our correlation graphically.